Well, I come up in here to put the boat in and do some scouting on the big river line. Maybe the wind will hold off. But this is one of my favorite places to come up here and trap. They got the name of the lake right. Beaver Lake. Going to put the boat in here in a minute and see what kind of sign this has to offer me this year. Going to get it going. See you in a little bit. I'm going around these banks on these windy days. You can hear, hopefully, you can hear the gurgling every time the wave hits that den right there. It's a small den, either a mink or a muskrat. Got it buried up into that, up under that overhanging vertical face of that wall right there. You can hear the wind and the waves. It's gonna be one I'll look at, probably putting a 110 or 120 in front of, but that's a den up under there. I wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't heard the waves sloshing. Gonna keep on moving. Well, I've gone a good little stretch there and hadn't found much sign, and I ducked up into this cove that I did trap last year, and I'm starting to find one of my favorite things to find for beaver trapping. Pretty good sized castor mound. I'm going to keep paddling around looking for dens, more castor mounds, but you can tell the beavers coming right up through here, approaching this, dragging their mud up on top. And there's fresh mud, fresh sticks and moss and everything on top. This will be a trap going in here for sure. Just looking to further my line on down this part of the river section. I'm gonna keep moving around. Just going around the sandbars next to the creek. You may not be able to see it, but got mink tracks coming up through here. Be a good place for a mink box right in there, but I do have mink tracks coming out of the water right here. Maybe a little show. It's hard to tell as bright as it is out here, but right beside them leaves, I had a mink come right up through here, going right up through there, 2 or 3 sets. But gonna keep moving down looking for sign. Not finding a whole lot up here this year, but I'll keep looking. Talk to you when I find more. See, I've got a bank den found here. You can see it's fairly shallow. It's real hard bottom, shallow. You can just watch it drop off in the ditch. And it's hemmed up right here beside these bushes. Probably gonna be, right there it is. Going up underneath the bank. Up in this steep bank. But like I say, you can see it right here. There's fairly shallow up against the bushes. Drops off in the ditch and then immediately comes out. There's gonna be a 330 set there going in. First time I come up here, but it's, whew, we'll move down another 10-15 feet. I think I see another one, but I'll show you when I get there. Right here, I have found it's only about 10-15 feet down from where I found the other one. I found this den hole. You may not be able to see it, but right in there. And in there somewhere you can see a breather hole coming out of the hill. Right here's the den. See, it's real shallow. You can just watch it. Boom, boom, right there. Rock hard bottom, no silt in the run. Coming out of the bank den. It's probably gonna be right in there somewhere. But you can just see the run. Shallow. Dropping off, hard bottom. I'll find it more when I come in here looking for 330s, but it's definitely a run. And there's the breather hole. Going to move on down, keep this party going. See you when I find more sign. Hopefully this is where I start picking up the sign. It is a huge backwater slough right here when it comes in under the bridge. This enters private property. It's where I've got permission to sit for a beaver. But I got a big creek system that comes into the back, and it is a nightmare to get in some of these places. But I'm gonna go around, pick up the sign, and I'll show you what I find. Hopefully it'll be pretty good. Last 2 years I've clobbered them in here, but we'll find out in a little bit. Well, I found a little lodge, and I mean little. It's got some good mud up on it, and they're dragging some mud and moss stuff around on it. Just not real super fresh, but it is a lodge, and they have a little moat of clear water around it. The rest of it looks like that out there. You get around this lodge, it's just clear water, clean water. And they have a little travel moat around it, so it's active. It'll be another beaver or two to pick up off this little tiny, I mean tiny lodge. This lodge probably fit in the back of somebody's pickup truck. I'll keep moving down. Well, I thought for just a little bit I'd done my job last winter a little too good. And now I'm starting to roll into the castor mounds. They got a little beaver ditch made in the reeds, going right up here to this castor mound. It's gonna be, there'll be a catch here. It's obvious that I haven't found the majority of the population on these beaver yet, but I'm headed back in here. But found one lodge, some bank dens, a couple castor mounds. Big ugly. But there's the castor mound I'm going to set. First time I come in here, it should be making a catch. I'll make a castor mound beside it and rile up the neighborhood. I'll keep moving down. Well, I'm starting to get into the sign. That's a big old castor mound right there. And they're coming right up through this little ditch they've got in the reeds, going up here to it. There for a little bit I thought I wasn't going to start finding much sign, but that's a good one. It's what I call a signpost castor mound. It's out here on this little peninsula coming around the point. Anything and everything coming around here is going to get wind of any strange castor you put in here. There will be a set going in here when I move up here to trap these beaver, but we'll keep moving down. I'm just now starting to get into the sign. I'll show you what I find as I find it. Well, I have found several good little bank dens right here. See how the mud right there is all wet? They have a ditch going right up through here, going into that bank den right there. There's the breather hole up above it. Here's one that's caved in, may still be in use underneath. There's still some fresh mudding up in here, and appears to be some more. It looks like about one here, one there, and one right up here just above it. It's going to be poking around in it when I come in here with some 330s to set the dens, but I know that one is because I've already stuck a bow paddle in it. Getting in here with water lilies and the end of where the creek runs into this big old open water area, so I keep hoping to find more sign. It's almost slim pickings now. I'm going to keep moving down. Well, I've got another bank den that I just found. It's all up in the bushes. Maybe I can show you. See it's shallow here. Watch this. Here's where it starts dropping off. Boom. Here's where it comes back up out. Here's the ditch. It starts coming back out. And the bottom of the ditch is rock hard, going up under this stuff into a bank den. There'll be a trap going here. It's an easy one to find, but you can see the ditch. Shallow. where it starts dropping off in the ditch. There's the bottom of it. It's coming right back out. Gonna keep moving down. It's a pretty good one here. Here's some castor mounds just above that den I just found. There'll be some that I put a castor mound in here myself when I come in here to trap, but that one's a little fresher than that one, and neither one of them's real fresh. Just needs, with the dens, found 4 dens about 50 yards above it. And any new sign in here will get investigated by the resident beaver that's using those dens. So this won't be an area that I pass up. There'll be a set or two going in here this season, I'm sure. I'm gonna keep moving down. Little spots like this, it's just little feeder tributaries that go up. I have a beaver dam up above me here about 100 yards, but these little feeder tributaries that I use to get in here, like say this one right here, are overflows for the beaver dam that's above me. These are going to be places like I'll put a 220 box right here for raccoon and otter, because everything's coming over these crossovers on these overflows on these beaver dams back in here will come up these little tributaries coming and going to the main river. But here's a better look at this one. It goes right up through here. You can see it right here, and they all go to the beaver dam. So it's about 100 yards through the woods, but this section of the river is where I caught that gold otter last year. I'm gonna keep moving down, see what other sign I can find. Just little tributaries like up here ahead of me. It gets real narrow. That'd be a good spot to fence off a 330 up in this little tributary ditch. And that's probably what I'm gonna wind up doing. But I'm looking at that and I'm like, boy, that's awful narrow. But that's part of the overflow from that beaver dam. I'll get to the dam in a minute, but just looking at the crossovers and overflows and the little tributaries that come and go to the dam, I'm gonna move on down. Here we are at the dam. It's about a 500 yard long dam. It just meanders through here, weaves in and out through the bushes and thickets. It's been here a long time. And there's a beaver pond up above it. But I really need to find a better way to come in from the backside. There should be, I know I'm at least gonna make a couple of dam break sets on it, but it's not very big, and I'm gonna pull them to me as opposed to me going to them by doing the dam break sets right here when season opens. I'm gonna put a dam break here, and any crossover and inlet channel I see coming to and from the beaver pond here, I'll do sets on. But it's a very small beaver pond right up here. But I'm gonna keep moving down. Hopefully I'll continue finding more shine. Right there's another narrowed off spot. There's places like that this year that I am going to be putting in some swinging gate 330 sets blocking that hole. There's little runs that come off. Like I say, you can see the weeds moving. That's an overflow coming from the dam that we was just at a few minutes ago. Right there is going to be a swinging door, saloon door type set on a stick going across that opening. And it's going to be like a dive stick and a 330 stabilizer all in one. Got that one to put in. Got another one just like it above me to put in, and another one right here that's all three doing the same thing. Anything coming and going over the crossovers and beaver lodges and beaver pond back there to the creek system that feeds this place are going to be using these little cut throughs. And I'm going to be utilizing that swinging door stabilizer I've seen used to put in some 330 sets and fence these little areas off. I'm gonna keep moving down. This has potential for an otter for sure. Like I say, I'm gonna keep moving. Well, this is gonna be a crossover for, looks like otter, maybe beaver. Saving them a long trip down to the bridge and across to get through the same place that this slough got a highway right above me, and it opens into the big river over there. But you can just see this crossover going up to the road. It's incredible. I'm going to probably position the 330 in this crossover trail right in here on an H stand come season. It's fairly wide, and 330 fit in there pretty good. I don't know whether it's otter or beaver, but beaver have no trouble, and otter do a lot of these crossing overs on the highway. But looks good to me. Gonna keep moving down. Even little minute castor mound sets like this, not more than about 2 handfuls of mud. It's fresh. And that tells me that I've got a beaver working this area. That right there is enough to, that right there would be enough to make me make a set and probably make a catch. But there's a little beaver calling this one home range. I've heard it said that it takes a 2-year-old to start making castor mounts. And a 2-year-old is going to be your 35, 40-pound beaver and up around here. We get them 60, 70 pounds quite often, but a good 35, 40-pound beaver is going to be the ones that have a lot less bite marks. They're also easier to flesh. So I'll probably put in a set here in this area, because I found 2 other castor mounds a minute ago, and they're all running on the small side. I mean, it's not very active, but they're all fresh. So I'm gonna keep moving down. Another little castor mound. Every year I catch them right here in this spot. Every year I catch these beaver out, and more move in and take up homage. And I'll find castor mounds in the exact same spot. Multiple videos last year, the first trap I would check usually would be this one, and it would usually have a beaver on it. So I got beaver working this point and working this whole cove going to the culverts leading to another creek. So there will be sets going in here again. We're almost back to the boat ramp, but if I find any more sign, I'll turn it back on. I only went about 20 feet down from the castor mound I found a minute ago and found this mud ball. It's fresh too. You can tell how dark it is compared to the surrounding ground. And almost back to the boat ramp, but I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to move on down. I've come across these dens, not too far from the boat ramp, but it's a worn out trail coming from the water, going up all these holes and along all these roots. But I'm definitely going to have to stick me a mink box up in here, because I mean, I can't think of anything else it'd be. Everything's going up. You can see right here coming up, going up this vertical wall, going into all these holes. And they got these hollered out holes all in the bushes, all underneath the roots. And it's a pretty good trail. I'll have to stick a mink box in here and hide it real well. We ain't but like 40 yards maybe from the boat ramp. But and it just smells like fish here. I don't know. We're gonna find out what it is, but there's a whole maze of little tunnels coming and going all up into these roots in this hillside. And they got trails coming to them just like this one, where they're coming out of the water, going right up that vertical hill into the hole. I'm fixing to get out of here. Had a good day scouting. We'll talk to you later.